Hello there, everyone. It's Pure Food Fridays. Welcome, welcome. I tap the screen. There we go. Hi. Hi there, Bobby and Grace. Still have the cough drop. Sorry, guys. Hi, Brittany. We'll have to see if this is on your diet, Brittany. So thank you for inviting followers and posting on Twitter. Thank you very much. I still haven't, hey Sarah, I still haven't gotten an Aya. Wow, this is cool. I feel like I know everybody. And Lisa, yay. Thank you for sharing, Brittany. Well, there might be someone on here who doesn't know who I am. So I am, or my name is MahailaMcKellar, and I am the mother of Danica and Crystal, Danica and Crystal McKellar. And yeah, I was going to start right at 4 o'clock on the button, Grace, and then I started coughing, so I had to wait. Anyway, hopefully that won't happen while we're cooking here. Who's writing? Oh, Lisa! How cool! That's family in Austin, and if she's riding on the back of a Harley, I'm guessing she's riding with her husband Mike, who is my first cousin's son. There you go. Okay, yes. So hello to Mike too. So let me see, what was I saying? Yes, I am the mother of Mahaila and Crystal McKellar, and I teach meditation, primordial sound meditation, and I certified by Dr. Deepak Chopra. I've been teaching meditation since 1998. I have paid attention to and cared about what foods I eat since, let me think, wow, since before Danica was born, so that's more than 41 years, okay? So it's been a while. And waffles, waffles can be made, they can be kind of like junk food in a way if they're just made with white flour and sugar, and maybe there's an egg in there, some kind of oil, maybe it's good for you, maybe it isn't. The waffles that we're making today, I'm calling them simply the best. They're currently my favorite. I combined, what was that? Oh, I didn't write it down. I know Grain Crazy was one website I looked at, and I got a recipe from them, and then I combined it with an oatmeal waffle recipe from another website, and then I added a couple things to that, and so here we are. Here we are. Okay. So if you are ready, let me turn so you can see the good old mixer. Although we're not going to start with the mixer. The first thing we're going to do is, heat the waffle iron. So it's ready. Heating waffle iron. My waffle iron, all I do is plug it in. Let me make sure it's not going to touch anything when it gets really, really, really hot. Okay. I think that's pretty good. It's an old waffle iron. I've had it a really long time. It's hanging in there, which is great. This made lots of waffles for my girls when they were growing up. Okay, so we've done that, and now we're going to take 3/4 cup of rolled oats, put it in just a medium little bowl. To that, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds. These are raw sunflower seeds. And then I'm going to grind 1 teaspoon of chia seed. I mean, not teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, sorry. 2 tablespoons of flaxseed. I'm using golden flax, but you can use whatever you have. And pardon the noise. Just going to grind them up like that so it's freshly ground, and add that to the bowl. And then the recipe calls for a total Draco is, someone else took him up this weekend. I will be taking him next weekend. So anyway, so we have the oats, the chia seed, the flax seed, the sunflower seeds. Now the total recipe, or the recipe calls for 2 cups of milk total, of buttermilk. I don't have buttermilk again, so I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of vinegar. I'm using apple cider vinegar. You can use just white vinegar. You want to be careful about the flavor you might be adding though, so in choosing your vinegar, think about that. Okay, so then I'm just going to stir this. And now this is kind of like buttermilk, right? And then I'm going to pour in to this bowl just enough milk to cover, so this can soak and soften up. So I used almost half the milk. I'm going to stir this a little bit. Okay, so I stirred it up. There's milk in there, and then we're just going to set it aside while we do the next stuff. And the next step, which I've actually already done, is to take 3/4 cup of whole grain kamut flour, 3/4 cup of whole grain spelt flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, and a full teaspoon of baking powder, and sift that together into a bowl. And now we put that aside. Oh, the ball, yeah, isn't that cute, that ball? I had a small set of those things. Over the years, they've sort of dwindled down. Yes, there's, you know, the spelt and the kamut are both ancient wheats that haven't been manipulated through the years. And of course, you know, I probably don't have to tell you guys, if you've been here before, everything here is organic. All the ingredients are organic. All right, so we have the oats and seeds soaking. We have our dry ingredients mixed. Yes, this is actually a bathing suit cover. I got it at the local store. It was so inexpensive. I think I have food on me now. It was so inexpensive. I got them in every color they had because they're just great now to wear around the house. Okay, so we have those 2 things set aside. Now the next thing, we have 4 eggs, which I have already separated. I'm going to put the egg whites into my mixer and get this going. To pour egg whites, I am adding a 1/2 cup of cream of tartar. If you don't have cream of tartar, you can use lemon juice. You double the amount, it would be 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. And this helps the egg white, once it starts to form, to stay together and not separate. Faster, faster, faster. How do you like the recipe so far? I see I'm getting hard, so. I have not yet written a cookbook of my own. I helped my mother put together a cookbook that was just for our family many, many years ago, and I've been thinking about putting a cookbook together. I actually have some sort of rough ideas that I've written down already. So we beat the whites to a soft peak. We don't want a stiff peak, just a soft peak. And this looks like it's almost there. I'll have, well, on the replay, I don't know if you're talking about the egg whites or the cookbook. Great. Oh, Lisa, I see you keep joining. You must, as you're traveling along on your Harley there, you must be losing the connection. Write the book. Okay, okay. If I write a cookbook, what should I call it? Do you have any ideas? Hi, Tony. Do you have any ideas for a title? on the whites. I don't know why I'm leaning down here. I've got the TV right in the back where I can see everything, but I haven't done it in the kitchen before. Just a little bit more. McKellar's recipes. Oh, okay. I like something a little more fun sounding. That was a good start. So, just a little bit more. Anything with a vehicle name? It's gonna go crazy here. We're way up. So, in case you just joined, we are making waffles, multi-grain waffles. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So, ooh, almost a stiff peak, but it's still going over a little bit. So this is good. Where can I put this? Right here. So I'm going to take these egg whites and I'm going to put them into another bowl. This does use a lot of bowls, so there's a little bit more cleanup than there might be for your average recipe, but I say make a bunch of them because they, you know, maybe double the recipe or something, and then you can keep the leftovers in the refrigerator or the freezer, and you know, you would heat them up just like you would do a commercially made waffle. Okay, so I now have my egg whites, and they're over here. You see, when I bring them up, they don't really, they're still soft. They're not, it's not a real stiff meringue happening there. Now, this is saving a bowl because we're going to use the same bowl here in the mixer. And to this we add the 4 egg yolks. I mean, yes, where am I? Ah, here we go. The 4 egg yolks. The rest of the milk, about 2 cups of milk with the vinegar in it. One-fourth cup of ghee. Now you could use melted, and this is soft, you could use melted and cooled coconut oil if you want your waffles to have more of a coconut flavor, or if you prefer coconut oil, or any healthy oil that you like. I like ghee because I like the buttery flavor in my waffles. And then a 1/4 cup, using the same cup, 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And measuring in the same cup that the ghee was in actually helps the maple syrup to come out because it doesn't stick, right? Because it's the inside of the cup is oily. So now we start mixing this together. Again, that was the egg yolks. Mahaila's Delectable Specialties. Ooh, I like that, Sarah. I like that a lot. The Wonder Years Mom Diet. Well, they would think that was Allie Mills, because she was the mom on the Wonder Years, right? So we're getting this mixed together. Bringing up the speed here a little bit. Pure food doesn't suck, maybe after. Pure food doesn't suck. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so we have this pretty much mixed together, and then to that, now I'm going to bring the oats and seeds that have been over here. Are they going to slip in here for me? Soaking and softening. Now you could skip the soaking and softening step, but then your waffles would be a little on the chewy side. Okay, so we added that. And we'll stir that for a bit. We're almost done with the mixing. Almost done. And now we're going to add the flour mixture. This was 3/4 cups of camlet flour, 3/4 spelt flour, the baking soda, and the baking powder. And I will be posting the recipe later on. I don't have it quite put together in exactly the way I want it for you yet. And I will do that right after we finish, and then I'll get it posted sometime this evening. My evening. Okay, now adding the dry ingredients. Just mixing it, just so it's all mixed together. And now, the egg whites. And take this off of here. And I'm going to take the bowl off. Put the egg whites in. And now fold, gently folding. Let's see if you can see it. Tilt it down here. There we go. And I'm just going to fold this. So when you fold, you go around the edge, over the bottom, and up on the top. You just keep doing that. And at first you think, oh wow, that's never going to get blended. And then it does. You want to be gentle with this because you don't want to beat or stir out the air that you beat into those egg whites. And this helps the waffles to be tender and fluffy and really good. And you can see there's still some white that's really obvious up on top. And it doesn't have to be 100% folded in. You see? Now you bake, they call it baking it, but you make the waffles according to your waffle maker's instructions. My little waffle maker, where's my measuring cup? Here it is. My little waffle maker, get this down a little bit more so you can see. And hot, hot, hot comes out. Let's see, can you see there? So there's, I don't know how to do this. Well, there's impressions for 2 waffles. And for this waffle maker, a 1/2 cup is absolutely perfect for each side. And close it. And again, for my waffle maker, it takes exactly 3 minutes. And hold on while I set my little timer. I'd rather set a timer because it also has the light that comes on, goes off, but I like setting the timer because, you know, through use I've learned that 3 minutes is the exact amount. What is my mom's name? My mother's name was Emily. Actually, it was Ermelinda, which I'm not pronouncing exactly correct. That's a Portuguese name. It looks like Ermelinda. And when she first went to school, the teacher couldn't understand what her name was, and the teacher started calling her Emily, and so she was Emily after that. You asked what 5 times? I've been cooking waffles. Or mixing waffles. Was it my mother's name that you asked 5 times? I'm doing pretty well. Sugar drop. I just okay, Grace. I have a little cold, which is getting much better. So now you can like I said, you can. My mother was not from Portugal. She was born in California. Her parents were from the Azores Islands, and my dad's parents were from Madeira. Okay, so this is how I store the waffles. I have these little wax paper bags, and I just put them individually into a bag. I should say this is how I store them when I put them in the freezer. That way I can take out one at a time, and they're not, you know, stuck to each other. Oh, great! You got the book for 7 Spiritual Laws. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. How's our... Okay, another 30 seconds. You know what time we will start a meditation study next week. You know, I always, believe it or not, I always aim for 2 o'clock California time, and then it just all depends on what's going around me. Sometimes there are gardeners in the neighborhood on Tuesday, and they might come later, and then there's like all this noise outside with their lawnmowers and everything. So then I'll wait, because that's not a very pleasant background for meditating and whatnot. Oh, there goes my beeper. All right, and let's see. Can I do it this way? Let's see how this waffle is. Oh, come on, waffle. Ooh, there we go. And these are really hot. Whoops, and I'm breaking it up. Here we go. Hot, 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 hot waffle. Hot waffle. Whew. All right, put that aside and let it heat up some more. So here they are. And now, you know, you can put berries on them, or you can put syrup on it, bananas, whatever you'd like to put on your waffles. They're so good. And it's whole grains. You've got the nuts, the seeds in there in order to have, there's more fiber. That amount of egg gives more protein. So this is real food. Here you're not just taking in white pasty flour and sugar and some random oil. You're bringing in real nutrition into your coconut oil on your waffles. Wow, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Thank you, Gregor the boss. Yeah. So if you try these, you'll have to let me know what you think. Yeah, okay? Put these down, and I think we're done. Whoops. You know, I go to swipe down and it gives me my calendar instead. Thank you, Gregor, for the applause. You think because of eating so healthy? I definitely think that eating so healthy, because I was already eating very healthy before I got pregnant for the first time. And I was a total purist both times, while I was pregnant and while I was breastfeeding. I breastfed both of them for a year. I was about to say just a year, because these days that's not all that long. When I was breastfeeding my children, to do it at all was a real big deal. Most people only did it for a few weeks or maybe 4 months, and I did each of them actually for 13 months. And I've been using the log cabin. Well, maple syrup is better than other sugars in the way that your body metabolizes it, and it needs to be real maple syrup, not maple flavored syrup. So be sure to read your labels. And okay, well, having no fructose, especially high, the corn syrup, high fructose, that's great. Again, make sure that it's actual. If you want to stick with the one that metabolizes better, slower, then make sure that it's pure, 100% pure maple syrup, not maple flavored syrup. And Right, that's what, yeah, yeah. So you wanted 100%, Andrew, absolutely. Yeah, Bobby, yeah. Feeling the effects, yeah. Getting a stomach ache when you eat waffles, Adam, I'm gonna guess that they're white flour and not not a whole grain. Just guessing. Also, you know, if you're sensitive to gluten, the gluten that's in our modern wheat is much more difficult to digest than in the kind of wheat that I used here, which was the organic kamut and organic spelt flours. Thank you, Grace. And I was laughing because Aya lives in Japan, and apparently she needs to, from what she's been writing, she needs to import organic foods from the U.S. because she's not able to find them there, or they're very, very, very expensive there. But yes, back to my children. I was very careful about what I ate and my environment, because those days smoking was very prevalent, and anywhere you went, and I stayed away from, like, you know, rooms filled with cigarette smoke. I just wouldn't go anywhere near anything like that. So all of those things, and then breastfeeding them, and then feeding them good foods, making sure they had a healthy breakfast and a healthy lunch to take with them to school. All of that contributed to taking their potential that they were born with and creating an internal and external environment for that to grow. So, and they're both just great people anyway. So I had really good people to start with. I don't have the recipe. What I wrote here is very messy. Danica is the same. Danica is the same kind of mother. Yes, she was very pure in the way that she ate and what she did. I mean, she is all the time anyway, and that included when she was pregnant. She breastfed Draco till he was, I think, 2.5, maybe a little older. My face I'm making isn't the amount of time. It's because I don't remember, and I should remember, but I don't. Cricket was also breastfed till she was 2.5, and both of these grandchildren of mine are you know, happy children. And so much of what, you know, when you see little babies that are not healthy, those are the ones that cry for no apparent reason, and the reason is they don't feel good. So we need to give them more good stuff and love and stuff. All right, so I'm really getting off subject. Let me see if I can get this. Swipe down. No, swipe down. No. There it is. Okay. All right, so thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for the hearts. Lisa, if you're still on here, I hope you enjoy the concert. Stay safe on the Harley. Hugs to you and Mike, and I saw Do You Do Good Chicken, but I couldn't see the rest of that because of the way the screen is right now, since I've got it ready to stop the broadcast. So anyway, goodbye everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Enjoy the waffles. Mwah.